see if we got anybody on here. I uh, I think I think I made a mistake. See if I can see if we have anybody in the chat right now. We're gonna have people rolling in here in a couple seconds. I'm gonna get started. I mistakenly messed up the first link and then I had to make a new one. Unfortunately. Let's see. Let's see what we got here. Okay. Let's get started while while people start sort of rolling in. Couple things about the game, that like I took notes during the game. I've kind of had some time to sort of process, and I'll talk more about you know examples of things that I noticed as they come up on film. But I'm gonna kind of just like run through a few plays here and there, just to kind of like sort of illustrate uh, what I think the game plan was, and like what I think we could see out of Guidry's philosophy, and then like kind of like technique and effort things that I've seen several weeks in a row, um, and then kind of like couple that with some of the post game comments. Like I know that Dabo, um, Dabo basically he like he said after the game, during the game I was tweeting, you know, that we opened up the game with what I like to call a declaration of war. I mean, it was like Gidry was like, you know what, uh, we're gonna play cover one, um, we're gonna line up in the bear front, and we're gonna make Kate Klubnik beat us, right? And so, um, the the title of my thread on the forum was like Gidry's a god, and then the next thing I said was, and also K Club is not very good, and I mean it's kind of like the genius of Gidry, right? Like Gidry knows that he could probably get into the head of a guy um, like Klubnik, um, and um, and kind of like set up the game plan in a way where it's like, look, you're not gonna win the ball. Like he has to beat us, and that's like it worked. Give me 1 second, guys, because I gotta reshare the link because I ruined the first one. Give me 1 second. All right, guys. All right, uh let's get started with what I like to call Guidry's declaration of war, right? And it's the first. So the way I this is kind of my angle where I sit, right? So I sit kind of like where this guy is back here, and so I see like basically I see like the end zone tight copy on film, and, and so like I really can't see coverages that well till I get home and I see the film. So much of what I'm doing during the game is checking out what the front is doing. Um, I can check like alignment splits and things like that, but depth is a little bit more challenging. So, all right, let's just stop it right here. So again, Gidry's declaration of war. Um, he did something that he hasn't done all year, and if you guys have been following my content, the first thing that I mentioned, about that I noticed about Gidry's defense, is the so the first thing that I mentioned about Gidry's defense is, oh man, hold on a second. I see that my sound's not very good. All right, hold on a second. Okay, all right. So, talking about Gidry's defense is like he may not base call his defense a 4-3. Oh, sorry, a 4-2-5. And it may not be like a nickel defense. Specifically, like he may refer to it as a 4-3, but his nickel is a multiple nickel, and so he brought in a new personnel grouping. Okay, so this is Jared Harrison Hunt. This is LT right here, and this is Bain. All right, so we have really what two defensive tackles and one defensive end. If you've been following the injury reports, obviously we got a bunch of edge guys out, and I think that may have played a role in coming out with only 3 defensive linemen. But it also matched what the game plan was going to be. And I don't know if that's if it's like a chicken or the egg thing. What we know for sure is that Guidry, Guidry's gonna get his guys into position to win, which is what he's been doing all year, and that's really what you get paid for as a coordinator, is to basically draw it up so your guys are in the best position to win. It's not like we're doing anything special, right? What's special about it is he's putting our guys in a good position to win. So we got two defensive tackles and a defensive end. I mean, if you want to call Bain of defensive end, you can. I mean, he can play inside as well. Then we have Wesley Bassane out here to the boundary. Wesley Bassane was playing to the boundary, or him or his backup was playing to the boundary, kind of like what we've been doing with the weak side defensive end. He just basically substituted that weak side defensive end with a linebacker, and so again, going further, my original post about Guidry is, I thought that weak side linebacker, that will linebacker spot, he's kind of developing it into like a hybrid edge, sort of edge player, where you see guys like Bassane and Cloyd are kind of like they're like long rangey guys that maybe don't live on the edge, but they're guys that can play their B gap, be a second level defender, and then in situations be edge defender. So here's Cloyd, and here's Bassane, and then we have Kiko right here. So coverage wise, you know, and I'm spending like a lot of time on this play because it 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 kind of and really nothing special happens here, but this is like Gidry's declaration of war. This is like what this is how we're gonna stop you. This is how it's gonna be all game. So you better beat us in the air, okay? And so coverage wise, you know, I don't know how Gidry coaches it exactly, but I know that um, probably there's a couple coverages really that lend itself to this sort of bear front. And yes, you know, you could always run other stuff as well, but there's certain coverages that synergize better with this type of a front, which is, you know, basically anything with a single high safety, preferably like a cover one, or cover three. So and so in this game it was like cover one all day or man free. You know, like I'll use both of those terms um, a little bit differently today. To me, man free is more of a base coverage where you got two inside zone help defenders, and then you have you know, the rest of your five guys playing in outside leverage um, uh, man coverage. And so cover one, I would say, is more of like a pressure coverage where yes, you've got a deep defender helping, and then you got five guys in man coverage with a five man pressure. So you know, I'll kind of use it interchangeably, but um, you know, some of my notes during the game, like, look, we look more comfortable playing man coverage than we do playing zone, and maybe that's maybe I'm sort of playing the result. Maybe I'm saying, hey, look, like we're not playing against Drake May, um, and so we look better. But the fact of the matter is, we made it hard on them. They took a bunch of deep shots. They got some of them, but at the end of the day, they got like 30 something yards of rushing against Clemson, who's supposed to have, you know, be good up front, supposed to have good backs. Just just that alone, you know, is something spectacular. So again, Guidry's declaration of war, love it. Let's let's see what happens on this play. Okay, so we see it right away. Cover. It looks like cover one. Oh, we get all five front players. Um, Looking like they are they're playing a gap. So it would basically be two C gap defenders, two B gap defenders, and one A gap defender, right? So if you were to just kind of draw like a line between each guy here, there's a guy in every single gap except for one of the A gaps, which is being played by a linebacker, right? So obviously Kiko can run for days, right? Like he, you know, if he gets, you know, gets a run look by the offensive line, I mean, no one's gonna block this guy. He's gonna be running. He's gonna be tackling. Man coverage, man coverage, man coverage, man coverage here. Kiko's on the back. I saw us. If you guys watched my extra credit film study on UNC, you know, we did review the concept of peeling on a wheel, right? So in man coverage, one of the kind of like difficulties that you kind of that you encounter sometimes is just getting out leveraged in the passing game, where you'll get a back out here, you know, sort of wheeling out, and it's this linebacker may have trouble getting there, you know, if these guys are in the way. So what happens is this linebacker now, right? So again, going back to the game plan, right? going back to the game plan, this is not a defensive end. This is Wesley Bassant. This is a guy that can peel. I'm not sure if he does it on this play, but I do know that I did see it happening in the game. He can peel, and then Kiko can just add to the rush. I'm not sure if it happens, but let's see. Yeah, it does. Cool. So, so again, this is another. I mean, this play basically illustrates, to me, this play perfectly illustrates the entire game. Okay, coming out in bare front, I dare you to run the ball. Okay, they probably saw the front, checked to this exact throw, and they try to pick on 22. Look, 22 is playing out of position. I think to me he's more of a nickel, but I mean the guy's an absolute baller. He's a football player, and he's gonna go out there and play good technique. He's not a big guy, and they picked on him early. They picked on him early, and he and pretty much held up. Okay, so look at this. Number 8 is a bigger guy, not a burner. 22. He's in great position right now. He's what we call in phase, right? There's not that much of a gap. Okay, he's already looking back at the ball. The only concern at this point is if he gets lost on the receiver. He's making contact with him. That's good. He has to lean on him. Keep leaning. Make a play on the ball, which he does. Makes a play on the ball first with his left hand, and then come back around with the right hand. I mean, just great technique. Coach Adai is clearly on his guys. Very good. All right, let's go to the next play that I outlined, and guys, if you want to put in the chat, specific plays, I definitely wouldn't mind you guys doing that, but I'm gonna just skip ahead to a few plays that I outlined. All right. Okay. Oh, all right. Let's see. Let's see if I can skip ahead. All right. Okay. Good. Here's. I'm gonna sort of take a swipe at Manny Diaz, which I like to do sometimes. There's some things I like about Manny Diaz and his defense, and there's things that I absolutely hate. And his concept of just running the defensive ends upfield, to me, it makes me want to puke. It's the easiest way just to get run over, and to lose a game in the ugliest way possible. And it here's. Here, let's just like run through the play once, and then I'll take a step back and sort of explain what I'm talking about. So keep an eye on our buddy here, Mr. Ruben Bain, number 44. And going into the game, I didn't watch a ton of Clemson film. What I watched, though, it was clear. We're going to have to stop inside zone, and we're going to have to stop counter. And those plays sort of play off each other. You run enough inside zones, and you get that sort of down block flow, and as a linebacker, you sort of want to just go with the flow, and play your gap, right? Meaning, just a very quick explanation, and like inside zone, these guys are just all playing their gaps, right? And he's gonna play in his gap. He's gonna play in his gap. He's gonna play in his gap. He's gonna play in his gap, and he's gonna play in his gap.
And all you have to do to beat inside zone is to be in your gap and to not get washed out. That's all you have to do. Now, now what happens is, a good to to me a good running game, you have to be able to run zone, and you have to be able to run what's called nowadays as pin and pull or man blocking, where you get this down block action, okay, and then you have pullers, coming coming back, and so the flow of the linebacker, if there is one here, would just go straight to his gap, and so it's a way to kind of like slow down your linebackers or confuse them, and so Clemson's running game counter inside zone. That's what we're gonna have to stop. And I say counter. Maybe there's not counter action in the backfield necessarily, but it's just what I call counter blocking, where it's a kick out by somebody, and then a lead through by somebody else. It could be guard and tackle, could be guard and center, could be tackle and H back or tight end, could be a fullback and a guard, whatever it is. It's just that's what I call it, and you can call it whatever you want. So here we're gonna see a counter. Again, keep your eyes on Bane, and if you're like the average fan, sometimes you might see a defensive end do this, and you're like, why is he just diving in there? That doesn't look right. And he does do some of this. Bane kind of does dive in too much more, a little bit more than I would like. But at the end of the day, man blocking schemes don't want to go sideways. Once you have him going sideways, then your pursuit gets there, and it gets cut off. Okay, by your force defender. Once it gets cut off by the force defender, and it just leads to the pursuit getting there. So Bane gets inside this guy. It's what's called spilling, right? You spill the blocker. Okay. Why did he do that? Let's see if we get a better angle here. I'm not sure if they're gonna show it to us. All right, good. Um, I'm gonna, again, probably probably their best run of the night. Um, one of the best runs. All right, so, man, this is not the best angle. All right, you know what? Okay, so this is another concept. Just maybe I can put out like a video, like a more detailed video on this. But just the idea of what's called gap exchange. Okay, so Bane right now is a C gap defender. Okay, looks like Leonard Taylor is playing either one of these two A gaps, maybe both. I'm not sure if he's slanting. This is a C gap defender, and then these two linebackers looks like they're both playing B gaps. Okay, and that's your gap. You gotta play your gap, right? Unless there's a gap gets created somewhere else. So what happens is this this tackle and this guard and this center are gonna down block, okay? Then we're gonna get pullers, okay? All right, where's the new C gap? Right, so if this guy's coming down, and then we have a puller coming out here, where's the C gap? The C gap's still right in here, right? So if we're gonna play gap sound with gap integrity, you gotta play your gap and continue playing your gap when you have blockers coming to you. it's what's called triangle reads, right? So, you know, I was kind of like, you know, to kind of like get an idea, you know, like what this means. You know, this is kind of like a teaching tool where you know, I can kind of like um, talk about it right here, right? So we're speaking about counter, right? So you know, this is a counter out of like a two back set. Just pretend that this fullback is, you know, somewhere out here. Okay, so we get counter blocking. This defensive end's gotta basically get underneath get underneath the puller and start climbing back upfield. Now, where I think Bain could have done a better job is he could have collision the blocker and fought his way back upfield just so just so you know there's more like you know like this so that so the ball carrier's gotta like kind of like sort of bow it out. Now the counter to that, if your defensive ends are really crashing in, what the offensive line will do is called like a log block. Will you know they know that you're gonna be spilling hard and they'll just like push you way inside, then you get washed, and that's kind of what happened here. So just kind of like a very basic one gap concept that the average fan may not understand. Just understand it if you're gonna play with gap integrity and properly exchange gaps when you get blockers. This is how you have to play it, or something like it. Um, the game then becomes is the offensive line gonna start log blocking and all that type of stuff. So just you know like a basic concept, okay? You know, and this shows so Bane kind of just like slips the block. I would rather Bane knock the shit out of that guy, hit him hard, and uh, you know sort of disrupt what's happening in there. The next problem is that there's no force defender. Good thing we can run to the ball and make a tackle. All right. All right. I'm gonna go to um, another play here. Okay. All right. So looking at my notes here, I'm not sure what's gonna happen. Keep your eyes on the bottom of the screen. So again, right? Clemson, Clemson understands what we're trying to do on defense. They know it right away in the first quarter. It's almost like as a matter of course. They see it happen. They say, hey, look, you know, they're gonna come out and cover one, and they're gonna basically challenge us to throw the ball. And already a couple times they come after 22. Thank God the referees were letting us play because our guys were playing physical. Okay, so let me see what my notes are on this one. All right, look. So this is like kind of like a good example of what Clemson likes doing. Clemson loves to put formations to the boundary. You know when they put a formation to the boundary, you know they're gonna probably run the ball or do something off of that, like some sort of play action. It's a the amount of plays you can get when a team puts a formation to the boundary is just it's like kind of minimized, and so you can kind of game plan off of it, and this is what we get. Keep in mind our alignment, okay, and the fact that we're playing cover one, right? So this guy's on him, he's on him, he's on him, okay. We have one back, okay. It seems like these two linebackers are sharing this one back. So if he goes out this way, then he goes out that way. If he goes out this way, then he goes that way, and so forth. The guy that does not take the guy in coverage becomes your middle hole dropper. It's what you call the rat. I'm not sure why they call it the rat, but that's just what they call it. All right. Okay. So again, going back to the first play, what did we talk about? Our alignment in cover one. We got a guy in a gap. And then we have our coverage guys are playing outside leverage. He's working to outside leverage. He's working to outside leverage. He's working to outside leverage. Okay, he's playing. He's scraping off a C gap. Okay, so it's cover one is like one of the easiest coverages to teach because it's self adjusting. Where if your guy goes in motion, you just go with him, and all you do is play your gap, and you play outside zone or outside leverage man coverage. I mean, it's one of the easiest things. I mean, and you see the NFL, you see college programs do it all the time. I remember probably one of the more notable teams that did this. Back when I was playing football, was when Urban Meyer and the Gators were good, right? They just played man free all game, and they said, basically beat us in the air, and that's what they did. So, just great run fits, running to the ball. It's great against the run, and then obviously there's negatives to it, which we'll go to later. As it relates to I'm getting a text from Cribby right now. Let me see what it says. Yeah. So, here as I read this, I'm gonna. Okay. So, yeah. Cribby mentioned that we went bigger on the D line and the bear front. Yeah. I mean, look, like that's it's kind of what we've been doing, right? Where we have a true, and I think we're in the that same bear personnel here. So really what we're doing is we have a true strong side defensive end in Bain. Looks like we have a defensive tackle here, Leonard Taylor. Then it looks like we have another defensive tackle, Jared Harrison Hunt. All we have to do is take out Wesley Bassane, who I believe is out here, and put in a defensive end, and we're in our base nickel. So instead of taking out a defensive tackle, all we did was take out our weak side defensive end and put in a linebacker. So, I mean, if you were to sort of compare this to maybe like another style of like 3-3 defense, yes, I agree that we chose to go the bigger route, and I think part of it is because we have guys out, and I think part of it was just part of the game plan. Okay, so I'm gonna show this one play, and then we get sort of or Jaden Davis, right here. I think he just falls down. So here, let's watch it one more time. And again, that's a cover one pressure. Okay, sending 5 men, 5 men in man coverage with one guy deep to help. Thank God he was there. Okay, now looking at, I'm gonna go to that part. I think the telecast had a pretty good all right, there we go. Okay, so man, look, just real quick, if ESPN or someone can give me access to this like to this angle, I would love it, man. This is so much better than what they show on TV. I would rather have this like the whole game. But whatever. All right, so we got 1, we got 2, we got 3, we got 4, we got 5, we got 6. Okay, so we're showing a 6-man pressure. Usually on the back end, where you're showing 6-man pressure, you're showing either like a quarter shell, which turns into cover zero, or you're just showing cover zero. Right now, we have a deep safety that probably tells us that one of these linebackers is gonna stay in coverage with the back, or if the back blocks, he's gonna just add to the rush. It still remains. It still remains a cover one pressure, a 5-man pressure, because all they've done is added one more blocker and removed one eligible player from the formation. Um, the next thing too, okay. There's a couple things that we see here that are great coaching, like sort of like evidence of good coaching. Okay, to me, usually when you're playing man coverage and you want to press, you only ever press the guys that are on the line of scrimmage. So this split end right here and this guy right here are both on the line of scrimmage, and this is looks like he's in position to press. And then when you have a slot off the line, usually you want to have this guy off. It just helps you not get rubbed, which is what they tried doing here. And it kind of worked because I think Jay Davis trips. That's on that side. Then on this side right here, to the boundary, we have two receivers that are kind of like they're kind of they're to the boundary, short side of the field. They're a little bit tight. I wouldn't say that they're like close splits, but they're closer splits. Usually when you have closer splits, you don't want to, or you want to take advantage of it, and you want to play what's called a banjo technique. And the banjo technique, it's basically it's a coverage that is specifically for when people play tight coverage, and so. When people play tight splits, so you want to have one DB to the outside of this guy, and then to the inside of this guy, and then one DB to the outside, and all you're doing is just kind of like playing them off of each other, and you could do that with a back and a tight end in the backfield. You could do it with a tight end wing. You can do it on the goal line, which we saw later, and it seems like that's what we're doing here. So let's just watch Jaden Davis to the to the bottom of the screen. I think he just falls down. Good play by them. All right. Okay, this is. I mentioned earlier some of the negatives of playing man coverage against a guy like Cade Klubnik, right? He's not the best quarterback. Okay, he's not the best quarterback, but obviously when you're in man coverage, you got your guys turning their head and they're running downfield. And if your pass rush can't keep him in the pocket and we can't spy and all that stuff, then we get something like this. That has a late flag on a hold, but whatever. The refs were horrible. Okay. All right, I'm gonna speed it up a little bit. Sort of. Sort of have fun on this real quick. Okay. All right. All right. So here's like a little bit of fun. Okay. Um, at this point, at this point, we see, this right tackle who Ruben Bain had quite some fun with um, during the game. Uh, he's getting nervous, right? All right, he's trying to get a head start on on Ruben Bain. I think at this point, Ruben Bain's already in his head. Okay, and, I'm not sure what's being said during the game, um, but we'll see shortly. We'll see shortly. What comes of that. So the next play I want to show, um, man, it's funny. Okay. 13:48. All right, here we go. Man, it's just like it bears watching several times. It's unbelievable the amount of power that a true freshman can have. That he's basically dominating both their tackles. I mean, this is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. God, man, incredible. All right, guys. Let me check the. Dabo pissed off, man. Dabo's pissed off. All right, I'm gonna see if I can. Okay, all right. I know a good. Let me see. I think I have a good a good play to talk about here. Okay, all right. This is the touchdown pass. Um, again, we're playing cover one. Guidry decided to live and die with his coverage, and God bless him for it. So, looks like we got one receiver, we got two receivers, we got three receivers. Um, they're kind of all bunched up. We have a deep middle guy, and it looks like we have a middle hole guy. They're in man coverage, and we're gonna have to. They're gonna have to basically, and then we have a back down here. That's two. That's one. Um, these these guys right here, one, two, three, got to sort of like deal off these three guys, and they do, and they do a good job. If I remember correctly, we send three, and then I believe Kiko kind of like stays on like a delayed spy blitz. Um, they give the guy time, and this tight end kind of leaks out. Cloyd's in great coverage. I mean, they caught the ball, right next to me. I mean, got to give them credit. Their offensive line protected, and the quarterback made a great throw on great coverage. Okay, Cloyd's running with him, and he's in phase, right? So if you look at this, um, Kitchens looks like he's reading his eyes, and we got a guy man here, we got a guy man here, got a guy man here. Here's our middle hole guy. Got a guy man right here. Cloyd's right there with him. Here's Kiko in his like in his spy. And then and then you know, he's in phase, plays the ball. I mean, he's like basically inches away, basically inches away. Great throw. Got to give him credit for that. You know, that's what they needed to do to win. Um, and you know, good for them. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna fast forward a little bit. Man, we've been going for a little while. I'm gonna see if I can speed it up a little bit. All right. Screw this. All right. Let's fast forward to the second half. Um, and obviously this bears mentioning. This this bears mentioning. Um, you know, let's just look at it once. I mean, the guy runs backwards. He runs backwards. He ran to the end zone, and then he got tackled. Unbelievable referees, man. It's like, you know, it's bad when Florida State fans are on Twitter talking about how we're getting screwed like on a week to week basis. It's bad, man. All right, let's see, 12:38. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, so look, um, let's look at let's look at the next play right here. Look, so again, this is exactly how you have to beat cover one. Okay, and again, um, it's just basic. We saw it on the first drive, and they kept trying it, and you know they finally got one. Okay, I mean Jaden Davis, you know, great coverage, great coverage. He's right there, and it's he makes a play on the ball, and you know, sometimes they gotta make plays. You know, and then take a look at Gidry right here. Take take a look at the Cajun master right here. Take a look. I mean, that's got to be like competitiveness, right? Major competitiveness. But check that out. Yeah, I know, man. Damn, damn. All right, 13-12. All right. So now, if you guys watched the UNC film, we sort of highlighted, you know, on the stream with Peter Ruiz, um, it became, or there was a time in the second half where we had a chance to shift momentum and get it back on our side. Kiko makes a great, you know, like a great sack. Could have been better. Could have really changed the outcome of the game. Um, and then you know here's TC. Um, here's TC coming off the edge, sees the quarterback's eyes, knows the quarterback can't see him, and makes the play on the ball. Cloyd is kind of like a no man's land. He's got to be in here. And I don't know, you know, they kind of had two guys in the gap, but thank God TC makes a good play. Look at that. And then, of course, this guy's sitting there waiting for it. Still, it was third and long. Great play. Awesome. Love to see it. All right. Okay. So I was talking with Cribby about this during the game, and from what I could see during the game, it didn't match what I thought it was. So this camera angle is horrible, and you know it doesn't really show anything. But in my estimation, we're playing quarters, and it looks like the underneath defender should like this linebacker Cloyd, who's been okay in coverage this year. Cloyd, I think he gets well. It's either Cloyd or Saint. They kind of get mixed up, but one of these two linebackers, I'm not sure what their jobs were, but one of these two linebackers has to be playing what's called a wall technique, where if this guy's gonna run the seam, he's gonna have to run with him, and just like play underneath it. Um, but to our credit, Clemson tried the same exact play later in the game, when they were trying to score, and we were in different coverage, and it ended up working well for us. So let's watch the clip. And good on them. It's a good play call. And it's, you know, now thinking about it, wait, what's he 53? All right, now kind of like thinking about it, this should be no, it's not. Okay, so they are in quarters coverage, and there's a safety right here. There's a corner right here. This number two receiver kind of goes like this, and then this guy, this guy out here kind of does one of these. Okay, and in terms of the reads, this safety right here should be taking this guy deep. This corner, it's almost like it depends what the rules are, but they could have switched. So a normal quarters read keeps his safety on that guy. They could have switched it, okay. Um, they could have switched it, and then this safety takes him, and then this corner takes him, but there still has to be help underneath. Right? There's either Saint or Cloyd has to basically sandwich that seam threat underneath with help over top. So there's probably two guys wrong here, but for sure there's one guy wrong. And again, it goes back to what I said. Looking at the first quarter film, we just look more comfortable in man coverage. If you can play quarters well, it's awesome. But if you're not good at it, it can get real ugly real fast. So what do we see? We see basically two guys on this guy, and then Basaint should have been under here. And then these backside defenders, they're covering these guys right here, 3-on-2. That's normal. That's completely fine. And then they kind of take a bad angle, and this guy gets a bunch of yards. Okay. All right, guys. Let's see. We've been going for about an hour. I have not seen any of this film, so we'll just watch it together. Okay. So look, same thing, cover one. Yeah. Let's see. All right, yeah, cover one. We got these guys in man coverage right here. Kigo's probably on the back, it looks like we're gonna send five, and you know, Gidry, live and die, bear coverage. Oh, sorry, in in a bear front cover one, um, and Clemson made the play that they had to make. Um, you know, good coverage, good catch. Williams probably could have made a better swipe at the ball, like a more accurate swipe at the ball, but he's on his guy. I ready to make a play. Ah, so close, so close. All right, cool. Man, this is probably like I, I'm gonna be honest with you. I didn't expect us to just take over the game on the ground. Did not expect it. All right, let's see. Uh, let's see what this is right here. Okay, so looking at this, we are in. Looks like we're let's see, sending four. Uh, we've got four guys in the rush, playing cover three. Yeah, nice, nice. So this is kind of like our first clip of this live stream talking about cover three. You know, and it's it's important to mention. Um, how you hear about you know about fire zone and cover threes or cover three blitzes and all that type of stuff. Um, it's important to mention how different fire zone cover three is different from just regular cover three. I mean, it's like wildly different to me, and so just the ability of having one more um, um, underneath zone defender makes this possible. So you have this guy getting to the flat. Then we have Cloyd being able to play a seam um, to this side of the field, and it's a good job by us, man. He's he, he's actually pretty good in he makes some pretty good plays. I think he's a pretty good player. All right, let's see. Okay. Okay. Let's see what we got here, guys. All right, we got it looks like. All right, let's just watch the play. Yeah. Okay. Um, yeah, I was gonna say that looks like cover zero because this is Cam. Cam typically, um, whenever Cam comes into the box, and is either not playing a deep middle or a deep half or a deep quarter. If he's ever like aligned anywhere different than that, there's something up. Um, Either we're gonna play uh, like a fire zone where he rolls to the field, and then we have like a blitz coming from the field, or we're like in cover zero, which it looks like we are here. He's a man. He's a man. He's a man. Then the rush we have one, two, three, four, five, six. Um, Maybe not. I mean, I can't see from this angle, but that's what it seems like. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. One, two, three, four, five. Okay. All right. Just more of the same. This is another front that we started seeing a lot of too. Is that Gidry was coming out like in he was sort of coming out in I, I don't want to call it like a yeah I guess like a 50 front or like a more traditional like 3-3 where we have like a five technique and then a zero and then we have these three backers sort of doing different things and so while it's not a bear front, it's still another odd front, and so Gidry just went all in on just confusion, and this sort of game plan where he's never gonna tell you exactly where the pressure's coming from, and spectacular. He he knows the limitations we have on the defensive front, and he's putting our guys in a position to succeed. Cover one. Cover one with a spy. Yeah, perfect. So yeah, we'll take a step back. Then they kept going back to this tight end. So and again it's kind of hard to see with this film, um, and even this game film or this like telecast film is even more zoomed in than some of the last games. It's horrible. It's way too tight. But you can kind of like gather, you can kind of gather some of the stuff. Okay, so we got one, two, three in the rush. Then we have really what's happening. It seems like is these two linebackers are playing a game with this with this running back, where this running back either goes out or goes through the line and out that direction, then it's gonna be this linebacker's guy. This linebacker then becomes like a spy player. It seems like to me. And then, or it may actually be a game. It may actually be a game with him and him, and then he's a spy because you see us send three. Yeah, yeah. Cam obviously is a deep safety, playing like a traditional center fielder, plays the quarterback's eyes, late help, great job. And look, we got the guy to play cover one. Cam is one of the best center fielders that we've had in a long time. Okay, similar look here. Similar look here. 3rd and 10. Let's see what happens. I haven't seen this film yet. Okay, so this is more of a. Oh my God, man, unbelievable. This is more of a traditional. I don't think that they chose to run a spy here. We get 5 in the rush. And then this guy is either in zone or in man with this guy. Yeah. Just like, love it. Love it, love it, love it. All right, let's see. Okay. Hey, if anybody knows what happened to Cheney, let me know. Poor guy can't catch a break. Okay, look, this is interesting. This is one of our few personnel groupings back into our base defense, where we, this is one of the first times that I've seen us play like a traditional 4-3. Okay, they brought in two backs, and I think they have a tight end somewhere over here. Traditional 4-3, four defensive linemen, and then three secondary level linebackers. This is actually like, I remember when, I used to play in like a Bud Foster type, 4-3, and we actually had like a check to this exact formation where you would basically line up in this exact defense, and so good on Gidry, you know getting his guys to identify it. I believe they were in this personnel grouping for like one play. Yeah. Jesus Christ, man, Ruben Bain. Okay, so now we have boundary pressure. Looks like, we're gonna have a contained rush by Bain. We're gonna see LT cross face. We're gonna see this big ass defender probably stunt to A. Number 11 is gonna rush outside. Then we're gonna get 5. Let's see, and then probably cover 1 behind it once again. It probably bad play call by then, just because we had a better play call. Our entire front was moving that direction, and Bain basically just like ran to the play. So I mean, super play call. Not sure if Guidry saw something in the personnel grouping or something, but just spectacular. Bear front, good tackling. Man, can we just this is like it I'm not even sure what to say, right? This is a true freshman, just completely obliterating this right tackle. Just look at this. And I'm not sure how Klubnik can go down that easy either. Look, I mean, look at this, spectacular. Five-man pressure, cover 1. Great tackle. Oh my gosh, bro. Great tackling. Spectacular. I love it. Okay. I mean, look, can I just comment, like, me being a defensive coach, me, kind of being of the mindset that you got to be able to run the ball. We're an air raid team, and we just like ran the ball down their throat in the whole fourth quarter, and in overtime. It's a beautiful sight. Found a way to win. Super ugly. I mean, just absolutely ugly way to win, and one of the best wins that we've had in a long time. Let's see. This is a personal foul. And then we got the. Let's watch it just for. Oh, I guess not. All right, boundary pressure. Boundary pressure. I mean, this is pretty obvious, right? This is one of the things. This is this is one of the negatives of playing man coverage is that like it's so obvious that it's coming. It's so clear. Typically when you play like a like a zone pressure, you can disguise things a lot easier. This defensive back usually is like a deep safety that'll roll down late, or it's like a linebacker getting to the seam. Um, but we got two guys right here, and then we have a DB covering nobody. Pretty sure he's gonna blitz. But I guess stop it, right? Man coverage again. Playing games up front. Oh man. So look. This is kind of ugly, right? I don't like it. Like it was too. It was too delayed, right? So we're in man coverage. We have one, we have two, we have three, and we have four. All right. I mean, he may stunt and all that type of stuff, but but there's four. There's four in the rush right now. Then we're gonna get, then we're gonna get a fifth, I believe. Yeah. So then, he's a fifth rusher. Okay. The problem with this is they have an extra blocker. So whoever's in man coverage with this guy has got to add to the rush. Maybe what happened is that they sent four and he actually did add to the rush. Maybe that is it. But there should be someone. Someone to help in the middle, and there should be someone to help deep. But to be fair, they did throw it to the outside, which is what they have to do against cover one. And good play on them. All right. So, this is kind of like like goal line defense like this is a lot of it is scouting and changing up, like having more than one way to play tight splits, right? Previously we discussed banjo coverage, where if you have tight splits, this is not super tight, but it's pretty tight. You can, these two defensive backs can in theory play these routes to each other, where they just basically box them in, right? So this DB's out here, this DB's out here, and you want to basically just play the releases, and we've got another guy in motion right here. When you add a third person, there's another form of banjo. I've heard some people call it three-way or whatever. It's the same idea, okay? And it takes, yes, like you can teach guys how to do it, but you got to rep it. It's a huge pain in the ass. And yeah, I mean, look at that, right? So really, what should be happening if you're on defense is and look, Cam looks like he's already saying something. Okay, he's in man coverage with this guy, and he sees him motioning. Cam's already talking. Okay, check out his eyes. Right, like it looks like he's looking right at this guy. Cam's talking, and it looks like to me like we're prepared for it. So, when you do three way or banjo or whatever you want to call it, it's the same idea. So this guy goes with him, and then one way to play it is like these guys are locked up, and then this guy plays banjo with this guy, um, and then as you can see it, I mean, this is one of the most, you know, like this is like another sign of a well coached defense. Oh man. So Cam 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 probably could have could have played that guy. But Klubnik, bad throw, could have been picked. You know, spectacular. All right, now looking at this formation, again, um, these two guys up here probably playing a banjo technique. Um, kind of doing their own thing, and then we had the front doing something separate. So let's see what happens. I'm pretty sure they try and run it here, and they get like a yard. Like Klubnik's like saying it's a touchdown. It's not even close, dude. Come on. All right. Let's see what we got here. Okay. So during the game, I was kind of like I'm on the opposite, you know, I'm on the opposite end zone, by the goalpost, and you know, I'm like yelling. I'm like, unbalanced line, unbalanced, and of course they can't hear me. But we have there's nobody out here. This is like just there's nobody here, and then we start with a tackle. So it's been tackle, guard, center, guard, tackle, tight end, and then we have then we have a receiver here that's online scrimmage. This tight end is not eligible. This tackle should be eligible if they reported him. So obviously the game here, the game is you want to force the defense to adjust. You know, when you're playing man coverage, you're playing certain fronts are self-adjusting, so it kind of doesn't matter that much. And I think we're in a good position. I think we got a guy in A, we got a guy in B, got a guy in C. Got a guy in C right here. Got a guy in B right here. Maybe these linebackers should have shifted over a little bit. Yeah, I mean we're in a, we got a guy in every gap, okay. And you got to keep an eye on this guy. This guy's gonna create a gap somewhere. Okay. And what you'll see is a bunch of down blocks, and then this C gap defender is gonna play his job, right, and take this, and then usually what happens when you have a defensive end that's chasing, that means really he's playing his gap from the opposite side of the line of scrimmage, right? So this guy's chasing his gap. Okay, he's gonna, with his down block, his C gap gets sort of like push down the line of scrimmage. So he's gonna play his C gap from the opposite side and tackle this running back. He's exchanging, in theory, he's gonna be exchanging that gap with this linebacker. So this linebacker's covered up to be a quarterback player. And I think that's what's happens here. Maybe not. I don't know. Yeah. So that's exactly what happens. So this tight end was gonna go create a gap right here. Okay. This guy's a C gap defender. C gap defender. He has to play his C gap. Still, right? Like we said earlier in the stream, it's about gap exchange. It's about gap integrity, playing your gap. So the C gap defender plays his gap. He's exchanging with this linebacker. These guys are all playing their gap, and then he's flow. So Corey Flagg, Corey Flagg's just doing his job, right? Corey Flagg's just doing his job, and this guy goes, and Canes win the game on a get that Corey Flagg chasing a guy down line of scrimmage. Look at that. I love it. I love it, man. Awesome, man. Just an awesome game. Just when you think the program's down and out, we're kind of losing steam in recruiting, I think. I mean, I'm not like super up to date on that stuff, and I kind of just hear secondhand information. But it seemed like, defensive tackle recruiting is suffering. Couldn't land LJ McCray. There's smoke about Blount, on the verge of 3 straight losses. Just when you think, things are down and out, come out and sort of gut out this victory. Spectacular. We've been going for about an hour and a half. It's a little bit long. I'm going to try and kind of, I couldn't watch the film till right now on stream with you guys. So, I'm kind of just going as I can. I'm going to try and watch the film first, cut it down, and just get straight to the clips. But for those of you that are here, thank you so much. And go Canes.